start. So I'd like to introduce you, everyone. This is the Melissa St. John. She is the social media manager and media partner for El Sistema USA. She has taken on as an individual the incredible promotion of Kids Notes, the local agency that I'm co-founder of in Durham and Raleigh, North Carolina, but also Melissa has gone out of her way to individually support a huge number of El Sistema inspired organizations across the country just in improving your social media tactics. And so I'm really glad that the three of you have joined Melissa today for this webinar. Feel free to share this link. We'll be sending it out to you following the webinar with anyone within your organization. And also we'll be sending the slides as well. With it throughout today, since we have a pretty small group, I think we can be pretty open about going back and forth with questions. A good way to kind of serve up your question to make sure that Melissa gets to it is in the chat function, which is at the bottom of your screen. It's two icons to the right of the share icon. It looks like a cartoon box, and when you scroll over it, it says chat. And that'll be a group chat so that everyone can see copies of your question. Thank you, Melissa, for joining us, and I'll let you take it away.
Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm a social media manager by trade. And one of the things that I get frustrated with when I view different people's social media posts is the focus on simply the content you provide. And while the content that you provide by posting is important, it's really only the beginning. If you don't take steps to improve your SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, if you don't take the time to engage with other people on your social platforms, and if you don't learn how to tag and hashtag in your posts, you aren't going to grow. So if you start out with 100 followers, you're going to end up at 100 followers 6 months later. And that's not what social media is all about. So my goal for this workshop is simply to teach you to think socially, to think in terms of growth and engagement rather than just in terms of what you're posting, and to help you grow. I like to give the analogy that social media is like a party. And when you go to that party, the first thing that you're going to do is go out and engage with the people you already know. And the second thing we're going to do is try to reach out to people who we have things in common with and who we want to get to know. And those are the two things we're going to learn about today. So Katie, if you want to advance a slide, or shall I? I think I can. How's that? Can you all see my slides? With the chat window, it's kind of small, my screenshots, but the first thing I wanted to talk about is maximizing your findability on Facebook. That's just another way of saying maximizing your SEO. And I've noticed that a significant percentage of El Sistema inspired programs don't do this on Facebook, so I wanted to draw attention to it. When you're logged into your Facebook business page, your organization page, if you simply click on About on the left-hand side, you want to make sure that all of the content you can possibly fill in under Story is filled in. That text, which you see on the second screenshot under Add Detail to Your Story, I've highlighted both the Donate button, and then below that I've highlighted the story text. You want to make sure that that story tells a lot about not just what you do, but who your partners are, and that it contains keywords like El Sistema, like music education, like nonprofit, because when people go searching for you on Google or on Facebook, this is going to help you to be found by the audience that's seeking you. So please make sure that you've filled out everything under About on your page. I also circled the Donate button because that can be a variety of different things on Facebook. It can be call us. It can be go to our website. We have ours set to donate. It's an editable button, so make sure that you have a button there and that it's saying what you want it to say to serve the purposes of your organization. Our second slide is, again, editing the page to be efficient and effective. If you click on settings, oops, it jumped ahead. Here. If you click on settings on your page, it's in the upper right-hand corner. There are two options here that I want to explore. The first one is Edit Page. When you click on Edit Page, it will allow you to turn off any tabs that are not being used. For example, if you're set to nonprofit, there may be sections on your page for reviews. There may be sections for shop or for a newsletter. Click on each tab on your Facebook page, make sure that it works, and if it doesn't work or if it doesn't go anywhere, if you don't have any reviews, for example, you want to turn that tab off on your page. And then the second circle on this on the second screenshot says Preferred Page Audience. This is a really important tab. If you click on Preferred Page Audience, it's going to allow you to tell Facebook who you want your page to be presented to. You'll still be findable by everyone, but Facebook, the algorithm that runs Facebook, will look at the information you provide under preferred page audience, and it will use that information to fill in the news feed. So if someone is interested in El Sistema, which is one of the criteria under preferred page audience when you select areas of interest, you can put in El Sistema, you can put in music education, you can put in classical music, you can put in nonprofit, philanthropy, early childhood education. There are so many different things, and it allows you to put in many, many different search criteria. And then Facebook learns about your page and will make sure that when people are searching for those topics or have those areas of interest in their personal pages as their job title or as something that they're interested in, your page is more likely to be served to them. So it only takes 2 minutes, and again, this is going to greatly help you get visibility with new audiences on Facebook. Here I've just walked through so you can see what a preferred page audience looks like. The first screenshot shows you. For El Sistema USA, I've chosen the United States. I've chosen a certain age range and then a wide variety of areas of interest below that. And if you need help with any of this, you guys can reach out to me via the El Sistema USA Facebook page on Messenger, and I will get back to you and help you. So here I'm jumping quickly to creating events with venues as co-hosts. What that means is when you have a performance that is something the public can attend, your fall concert, your winter concert, or if your kids are playing at a community event, the Kids Notes children, for example, will perform at Wake Med, or they'll perform at the Junior League shopping spree. I will create an event for them on Facebook. I will give all the details of the event. And then I also will add the person that we're performing with or the venue at which we are performing as a co-host. That means that if we're performing at Wake Med, who has over 100,000 followers on Facebook, if they accept the co-host position, then our event will be served to people who follow Wake Med. This dramatically increases the visibility for our event. It's free advertising. So if you are performing at an event with someone who has, I jokingly say with the popular kids, but if you know that you're performing at a large venue, if there's any chance that that venue will share that event on their page, it's most definitely worth adding them as a co-host and tagging them, which we'll talk about a little bit later, in any posts that you do about the event. I can't believe you guys have no questions yet. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about engagement on Facebook. So again, I said, if you go on Facebook and all you do is post, okay, if social media is a party, is a dinner party, and all you do is post, then you're the guy at the party who just talks about themselves. And you don't want to be that guy, right? You want to go out and you want to shake hands and you want to ask people what they're doing and ask them what they're about. And the virtual equivalent of that on Facebook is liking their page and engaging with their content. Yes, so when we have a question, when using the preferred audience, is it better to localize location or keep it broad? And that's going to depend on your goals. So if you are a very small local El Sistema program and you want the local community to attend your events, you want the local community to be your donors, then I would keep it within a 50-mile radius, and that is an option of your location. And perhaps in a later workshop, or if we have time today, I'll talk about boosting posts on Facebook. Anytime you boost a post, which is basically putting money on it and saying, please give it more visibility, you have the same criteria. You can select a 50-mile radius of your physical address. You can select people who are interested in specific things, specific age ranges of people. For El Sistema USA, I've kept our audience quite broad because anyone who's interested in kids, I mean, honestly, anyone who loves children, anyone who loves music, anyone who loves the arts in the entire country is a potential donor for us, right? So I've deliberately kept our target quite broad. But if I were targeting for kids notes, I would select a 50-mile radius of Durham, North Carolina. If you're an El Sistema program who has a competitive program in a very nearby market, you might even be more specific with your geo-targeting and say a 25-mile radius of your location. When you're ready to do it, if you call me, I'm more than happy to share my screen and walk you through creating an audience for a specific purpose. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, so here on the slide in front of you, I say like your community partners, venues, also the schools you partner with, the local symphony orchestra, the local media. Those are all people you want to engage with on social. Now, you'll see in the screenshot, there's a red X over the like button. And the reason I put that there is because this is a huge mistake that a lot of organizations make. They go out to their partner Facebook page and they click that like button. Well, what that does is it likes that page as you as an individual. And that's not what we want to do here. We want to click the three little dots that are circled in yellow, and then a pull down menu will give you some options, and one of those is like as your page. So just like if I like this as my personal page, their content will show up in my personal Facebook news feed. My business page, my El Sistema USA page, also has a news feed. And the business pages that I have liked as El Sistema USA will show up in that feed. 99% of people do not bother to do this, and it's really, really important if you want to grow on Facebook without spending money. So take a few minutes every day and read your page's feed. You'll see in the second screenshot I've circled, it's on the right-hand side of your business page, of your Facebook page, your business page or your organization page, not your personal page. You'll want to click on See Pages Feed, and all of the pages you've liked as your organization page, their content will show up there. Well, why is that important? Well, because statistically, any given post that I put on my El Sistema USA page, 6% or so of my followers are going to see that post. It's really, really hard to get your posts seen by the newsfeed. There's a lot of content on Facebook. Everybody has a lot of content in their feed. So by going out to, in this example, North Carolina Symphony's page, when they post something, if I like, comment, or share their post as El Sistema USA, then North Carolina Symphony receives a notification that El Sistema USA has liked, commented, or shared their post. And that's immediate visibility of my brand by North Carolina Symphony Orchestra. So if you really want to get your brand or your logo out in front of the popular kids, as I jokingly call them, but let's face it, they have In some cases, if I have an event coming up and it's my local news channel, they may have 200,000 followers on Facebook. So I really want them to pay attention to me and to see my logo in their notifications over and over and over again. It's what we call in marketing brand recognition. And simply hoping that they'll see what I post, that's not enough. I need to make sure that I'm taking the time every day to like new pages, to read my page's feed, and to like, comment, and share on what my community partners, venues, and local media, as I said, I think is an important one, on what they're sharing so that I'm top of mind and they see me. I want to give you a little example of how powerful this can be. So Kids Notes performed at the season premiere of a PBS television show called A Chef's Life. And they performed the theme song from A Chef's Life, which was written and performed on the show by the Avett brothers, who have 750,000 Facebook followers. So we tagged the Avett brothers, and A Chef's Life posted the video also and tagged the Avett brothers. And what happened? The Avett brothers shared our video on their Facebook page. They would never have known that we had shared it if we had simply posted it to our page. The only reason they knew was because they had been tagged and because we had been going out and engaging with their content to get our logo out in front of them every day, before, during, and after that event. So a little bit more about that. I'm going to advance to the next slide. Okay, so here I've gone, I just wanted to wrap in. Most of you have other platforms, so I wanted to give this example. And the word poach sounds a little nasty, like it's stealing, but this is what we call it in social media. So I'm using North Carolina Symphony again as my example, and you'll see in the screenshot they have 6,000 followers. Well, all of the people who follow the North Carolina Symphony, or a vast majority of them, are people who are prospective donors for me, or at least prospective followers for El Sistema USA, because they are people who love music. On Twitter, what I will do is go out and find someone like the North Carolina Symphony who has an audience that is sort of parallel to mine, whose followers I know may be interested in learning that I exist. I go look at their list of followers, and then you'll see down here the blue buttons. I just go follow, 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 follow. Now, why do I follow all of these people I don't know? It's a strategy for growth and engagement on Twitter. It's literally called a follow-unfollow strategy. If you were to Google that, you'd see lots of different examples of how to do this. But I'm not Justin Bieber or Katy Perry, right? If you're not a celebrity, people aren't necessarily going to find you or seek you out to follow you. So in order for people to know that you have a Twitter account, you have to follow them first. When they receive that notification that El Sistema USA has followed them, our most sincere hope is that they will say, oh, El Sistema USA, who's that? And they'll come look at our feed and follow us back. What I do is I will go through and I will follow all of the people who may be prospects for me. I'll follow 100 of them in a day. I wait about a week for them to follow me back, which they will do if they're interested in me. And then if they don't follow me back, I unfollow them again. Because I figure if they're not following me back, they're not interested. They're not going to engage with me or help me grow. And then I keep doing this week after week after week. It's a growth strategy, and it works on every social platform. Liking pages on Facebook, following people on Twitter, following people on Instagram. It's an absolutely necessary thing to do if you want to grow your number of followers. And here I'm going to show on Instagram. Oh no, here I'm going on to, I showed it here on Instagram. So here's followers on Twitter, here's followers on Instagram, both for the North Carolina Symphony. Same exact thing on both. You just want to look at who's following your competitor or whoever's relevant and then follow them. So they learn that you exist. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the anatomy of a perfect post, because although we've been talking a lot about how to engage with others, how you post is also very important. And it's really frustrating to me when I see an El Sistema inspired program post something about, our program is performing today at this massive amphitheater, or we had a celebrity violist come and play with us, or whatever. If you're mentioning a place, if you're mentioning a person, if you need to think in terms of how can I get this post in front of more people, and the answer is to tag someone. So the screenshot here was an example of a post I did today with Katie when she was at the Kennedy Center for the Citizen Artist event. I tagged the Kennedy Center, and I also tagged VH1 because they have a nonprofit foundation they also advocate for music for social change, and Katie had met someone from the VH1 Foundation at the Kennedy Center. So I tagged both of those organizations in my post, and they both have hundreds of thousands of followers. So why do I do that? So that those organizations will be notified. Just like if someone posts a picture of you on Facebook, you receive notification that Melissa St. John posted a picture of you on Facebook, and you immediately are going to go to see what that picture is, right? You want to make sure that you're okay with that picture, or you might want to like or share or comment on that picture. The same thing is true as a business. I'm tagging another business. They're going to receive a notification that I've mentioned them, and this is a direct request from me to them for engagement. I'm saying, listen, I'm giving you credit for this photo, or I'm mentioning that we were with you on this day, or I'm thanking you for something. Please engage with my post. I'm going to talk a little bit about the algorithm that runs Facebook a little later. It's called EdgeRank. EdgeRank is simple math. If a post receives likes, comments, and shares, then EdgeRank thinks this is a valuable post. It's a valuable piece of content. I'm going to give it more visibility in the newsfeed to more people. And the more engagement a post gets, the better it will perform organically. Organically means without you putting money on it. So this is why I tell El Sistema USA members, always tag me in your posts, because I guarantee if you tag me, I will at least like your post. I will at least comment on your post, and when possible, I will share your post. If things are weighted by EdgeRank, which they are, the way EdgeRank weights things, a like is worth, say, 1 point, a comment is worth, say, 5 points, a share is worth maybe 10 points. So the more engagement, the more types of engagement a post gets, the better that post is going to perform for you, and the more visibility it's going to get, which is very important. And as I said on the bottom of this screenshot, again, a problem I see a lot is folks tagging someone but not liking their page. It's all tit for tat. You scratch my back, I scratch yours on social media. And everybody needs likes on their page. Everybody needs engagement on their posts. The more love you give to your partners, vendors, clients, and friends on social, the more love you're going to get in return. So if you're going to tag someone, make sure you've also liked their page as your page. That way, in one day, they'll receive a notification that you liked their page. They'll receive a notification that you mentioned them on Facebook. If you can even go to their page and like a couple of posts, they're going to see your logo 4 times in 10 minutes on Facebook, and that's awesome for you. Okay, so let's see. Let's go see what's on the next page. So hashtags. I find people are often confused about what a hashtag is versus a tag. So when I'm typing my post on Facebook, if I type an @ symbol and then I start typing a business name, that's what we just saw on this previous slide. That's a tag. A little pull down will come up and it'll say, which business are you mentioning? You click on the right one, and it's going to become a hyperlink to their Facebook page, and they'll receive that notification. A hashtag, on the other hand, is where you put what my generation called the pound sign before a certain word. Um, a hashtag is, I like to describe it as like a secret password into a conversation about something. And younger generations think of them simply as search terms. But if you click on a hashtag in a post, and you can try this after we are done with this workshop. If you click on a hashtag in a post, it's going to bring up a tidy little feed, a little news feed, and every post in that news feed will be about that subject. So you've seen this at events. Consumer Electronics Show 2017 used hashtag CES 2017. And if you clicked on that hashtag that week, everything you saw was from businesses and individuals participating in that event. That allows me to see, oh, Joe and Kathy and Katie and Susan are all at that event, right? It's a way for me to figure out who's there. And again, it's great for prospecting. But it's also great for you to grow your post. If you use hashtag, I use El Sistema Proud on almost every El Sistema USA post. I use hashtag music for social change, and that will get my post in front of other organizations working for music for social change who are not necessarily El Sistema inspired, but now they're going to learn that I exist, and they're going to see my post, because when you click on the hashtag, you'll see my post up alongside theirs, regardless of who they are, regardless of whether they're a business or an individual. So I've given us a tip here to limit to 3 or 4 hashtags on Facebook or Twitter. On Instagram, people just totally go bananas with hashtags. They'll type in their post and then they'll do like 10 carriage returns and put 100 hashtags. And honestly, if you put up 2 posts on Instagram and one of them has 20 hashtags and one of them has 2, you will notice a difference in the engagement between those 2 posts. It will be dramatic. Again, hashtags, change them up. You don't want to use the same hashtags all the time because then you're reaching the same people all the time. So try to use music ed, hashtag music ed, hashtag music education, hashtag El Sistema, hashtag, create your own. We're going to be using ESUSA 2018 at the symposium so that everyone who shares during the symposium, whether they're on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, all of those posts will be organized into a nice, tidy feed, and it will become a conversation about that particular subject. So hopefully that clarifies hashtags a little bit. I know there are a lot of questions around them. If you look at El Sistema USA's feed, I tend to incorporate my hashtags right into the post. Other people like to add the hashtags at the end of the post, and it really doesn't matter. It's simply personal preference. But again, try to have a tag and a few hashtags in every single post on every platform in order to grow and engage more people on each platform. All right. Have I already gone through all of my slides, or am I stuck, Katie? Oh, here's one. Okay. So thinking socially, this goes back to finding ways to tag and hashtag and engage with the community you serve. So wherever you are, if you're at a concert event, if you're at one of your kids' performances at a school, take a picture, take a video with your phone. Make sure you've liked that venue or that school or that restaurant or whatever. Make sure you've liked their page as your page. Tag them in your pictures so that they will engage and hopefully share your picture or your video on their page, which is ultimately your goal. And then check in. And I've showed in the screenshot how you can check in at any particular venue on Facebook. And again, you can use your phone and do it in the app, and it's super easy, but it's a great way to ask the place that you're currently at, regardless of whether you're there with the kids or whether you're there as an individual, you're asking them to engage with you and to acknowledge your post. Especially if they have large followings, this is free advertising for you. So the anatomy of a perfect post, make sure if you've checked in, if you have a photo, if you have tagged someone, and if you have a few hashtags, then you're maximizing that post's reach for growth and engagement. And I hope that this is all helpful when it comes to fundamentals of social media marketing for your El Sistema program. Um, I know for Kids Notes, even if they're not beautiful, any videos that we've been able to capture, I have the teaching artists, we all share a Dropbox, and I have them take little videos on their phones during rehearsals. They catch tender moments, even at snack time, boarding a bus. And they put all of these videos into a Dropbox, and then I have them available to me to share on social. And I can tag the school, I can tag, wherever they're performing, and those are the posts that get the best engagement for us. They usually are posts of the kids, and videos outperform a static picture or text every single time. And I feel like I missed a slide because I could have sworn, there it is, there's EdgeRank. Okay, so I'm not kidding, this is actually the mathematical equation that runs Facebook's newsfeed. And its affinity is the relationship between a person and the organization sharing the post. Weight is, again, a like is weighs more than a comment, and weighs less than a comment, and a share weighs more than a comment. So it's like, then comment, then share. And decay, this engagement has to happen quickly. And every hour that goes by without your post getting engagement reduces the likelihood that it will end up in the newsfeed. So how can we all help each other grow? We tag one another, and we read our page's newsfeed, and we like and comment and share each other's content. As El Sistema programs, the more we engage with one another's content, the more we all will grow our own posts, thanks to the EdgeRank algorithm. So please, again, tag El Sistema USA in your posts. I promise I will engage with them and do what I can to help you grow them. And this was quick. I left time for Q&A. There's only 5 of you. Surely you have some questions. Okay, we have a question from Harmony. Creating content on Twitter, differentiating it from Instagram and Facebook. That's an excellent question. She's saying, and you can read the group chat, how do you format a post on Twitter versus Instagram versus Facebook? So first I have to ask, are you using a third-party tool like Hootsuite.com? And I'm going to type this in here. If you're using a program like Hootsuite.com, you can, okay, well, Hootsuite helps me. I couldn't do my job without it, but I have a ton of platforms to post to. So Twitter, you have a 140 character limit. Please, please, I beg of you, do not have Facebook auto post to Twitter. It's a nightmare. And Twitter is it's my favorite platform. I get great growth and engagement for both El Sistema USA and Kids Notes on Twitter. There are a lot of music organizations, arts advocates, social activists on Twitter. So I highly recommend you use the platform directly, which means do not auto-post from Facebook to Twitter. If you're doing that, any photo you've included will not show up. It'll simply be a link back to Facebook, and nobody is going to follow that link. So keep yourself to 140 characters. I know it's painful. They're going to be hopefully increasing the number of characters in the next 6 months. For now, you're stuck with 140 characters. So please do include an image on Twitter or a video. Twitter allows you to very easily create polls and add surveys, that type of poll, and also allows you to very easily add animated GIFs, which are little videos. They have a library of them built into Twitter. And if anybody wants to learn how to do that, you can call me after this workshop and I'll walk you through it. It's super fun. So make sure that the entirety of your content can be read in 140 characters. I know it's hard. You just have to be super brief. You can abbreviate. Twitter followers totally understand that. But you can't force them to go out to Facebook because Twitter people are Twitter people, and they're not going to do that. So make sure you've got the link, Hootsuite also allows you to shorten URLs to 8 or 9 characters so that you're not using up your whole 140. And that's another thing I like about Hootsuite. There are other programs you can use to create what are called tiny URLs. Make sure you have a link. Leave as much space as you can for hashtags. And when possible, again, tag someone. The same rules apply on Twitter. Twitter grows very quickly, so go out and poach. Follow the people who follow your competitor, right? I know you're nonprofits, and that sounds like a very Machiavellian thing to do, but if you have a competitive program that's not a nonprofit, a music school in your area, anyone who's following them may be a prospect for you. Any arts activists, arts advocacy groups, nonprofit organizations in your market, see who's following them and follow those people. As far as Instagram, it's got to be a picture or a video. And then, like I said earlier, make sure that you load up with hashtags on Instagram because it will make you grow more quickly. As far as the best time of day to post on Instagram, and one last thing on Instagram, the only clickable URL will be in your bio. Make sure that the bio link is a good one. Like it should go directly to your donate page, or it should go directly to learn more about this program page, and then you can reference that link in your posts and say the link is in our bio. Unlike Twitter and Facebook, where the link can be right in the post, that's not an option on Instagram. As far as the best time of day to post to Facebook or Twitter, a lot of businesses now have firewalls against social media. So we used to say like 9 a.m. was a great time to post. I would recommend that you do some A/B testing for your organization. It's going to differ whether you're targeting parents or donors or community at large. Every post that we do as El Sistema programs has a different target audience. Sometimes if you're targeting businesses who may sponsor your gala, for example, I would do that in the evening or very early in the morning. And you can schedule that so you don't actually have to get up at 5 a.m. to do it. I also find that if I'm targeting parents, my Saturday morning posts and my Sunday afternoon posts do very well. But like I said earlier, unfortunately, there's so much noise in the news feed on all of these platforms that the trick is to simply post frequently and don't overpost, but once a day if you can, and don't hesitate to reshare things. You'll see on El Sistema USA that I'll share a post about an event 3 or 4 times. Because the odds of someone seeing it the first time aren't great. We have a question from Lisa representing El Sistema, Colorado. Promo Republic. Okay, so Promo Republic will help her calendar out posts, design posts. Okay, yeah, so I have not heard of Promo Republic, but there are many different programs that will allow you to do the types of things you're talking about. I personally use, and I'm going to type it in here, I personally use a tool called Canva to design posts. It's free. And I use Hootsuite to schedule them. I'd have to play with Promo Republic to speak to exactly the differences between those options and what I'm using. I do know that there are some programs that will curate content for you. The problem is I, as a social media user, will go onto my Twitter feed and I'll see there are 3 financial advisors that I follow, and every single one of them has an identical post because they're all using the same tool to generate their content. I'm not that kind of social media manager. I believe that sharing stuff that is authentically created by a human being makes a difference, and that people can tell, especially if we were talking earlier about engagement, especially if you're reading your page's feed and you're reading what your friends are posting. Carolina Theater does a lot of work with Kids Notes. I make sure to like and say this is awesome on everything they post to help their post to grow, and in exchange they're very much responsive when I share things. And that's an authentic human-to-human social media relationship. I find if you try to over-automate, you come across as a bot. And I refer to it as anti-social media. If you try to over-automate things, you can get stuck sharing the same content your competitor is sharing. I call it slot machines, where I go into my feed and I see the same exact post 3 times in a row. You'll never see that from El Sistema USA because I'm personally drafting everything that I share, creating the content in Canva, posting it with Hootsuite, scheduling it out. But I realize you guys don't have a lot of time, so you do need to find tools that will help you to facilitate what you're doing. Yeah, 10 hours a week is not a lot. And if you can mix it up, if you can have, this is my son, if you can mix it up and if you can have some of your content automated, and then when you've got events coming up, make sure that you're sharing authentically and getting that event in front of people by commenting in, like, North Carolina Arts Council, for example. If they post something and I like and comment on it, I might say, "This is so awesome. We love what you guys do. Come check us out. We've got an event coming up." I mean, that's salesy, but informative within the contents of their post. That type of engagement is going to help you a lot more than anything that you share in your feed. I know that sounds counterintuitive because when you talk about social media, people think you're talking about what you post on your wall, but that is such a small percentage of what social media is all about. In order to grow, you have to take the time to get out there and find people who are having conversations and then join the conversations so that your logo gets in front of new eyeballs all the time. You'll have a lot more growth if you do that than if you share 3 times a day. I do think once a day is plenty. If you cannot manage once a day, at least be consistent. Try to share on Tuesdays and Thursdays or on Wednesdays and Fridays so that people can kind of see a consistent and reliable source of content from you. And please take the time to create events. I know it's frustrating. It takes a few minutes to do it, but it makes all the difference in the world because Facebook will tell folks in your community that are within your geo footprint, there's an event near you, come check it out. It's free advertising. So even if you don't see a lot of response on your events on Facebook, it still helps your brand to have them out there. So please do consider having someone assigned to creating events whenever you guys have something going on in the community. And if you can have co-hosts on them who will help you to grow, even better. I know we covered a whole lot in a short amount of time. And I'm sure this will end and I'll think of a million things I'd wished that I had brought up. But again, I challenge you all, if I accomplished nothing else in this hour, I challenge you all to think socially. And whenever you post something, think, what is this post doing for me, right? Am I talking to myself? Am I talking to the same 100 followers? Or am I using this post to grow my brand? And if you've got a tag in there for someone, especially someone who has a lot of followers, and if you've got a few hashtags in there that are relevant to the subject matter, then the post is working for you and will help you to grow. And again, my name is Melissa St. John. You can reach me via El Sistema USA's Facebook page. Just send me a message if you need help with something, and I am more than happy to help. Any other questions? We still have 10 minutes. Thank you so much, you guys. All right,
Great.
Kathy,
Thank you.
thanks
We'll
for
be sending
coming.
out all the information over email, both a link. We'll have a recording of this webinar and Melissa's contact information so that you can connect with her on social.
All right, thanks, Katie.